Yes, welcome everyone. When we are live, and that of course means if you're watching live, it's Wednesday at noon Eastern time, which is time for the High Noon Hemp Show. As you see right there, we're closing in on a milestone, episode 298 today. If you can believe it, some almost close, it'll be 7 years in September. We've been doing this show. That's crazy. Thanks to everybody who, watches and shares and all that good stuff. Of course, you can see this on video. If you're on Facebook, check out the Temptations Beach Facebook page. If you're on YouTube, it's the Jedi Hemp YouTube channel. And at X, check out at Temptations. Of course, as well, we've been telling you the High Noon Hemp Show podcast has returned. Now, almost 100 episodes for you to peruse, more being added all the time. Search the High Noon Hemp Show on iHeartRadio, Podbean, Spotify, and Amazon Music to find the episodes. If you don't want to be looking at our faces or what cool hats we have or any of the pictures that Beach has so painstakingly put together and emailed to me so we can show you all, you don't want to see all of that, that's fine, of course. Enjoy the audio podcast. Just know you're missing a lot, a lot. I'm, of course, Stoner Jesus. I do various things on the interwebs. You can search if you feel like it. He is Beach. He loves hemp. He is at an undisclosed location at the Planet Everywhere Studios. Beach, how are things this week in the world of Temptations?
Man, I cannot tell you how exciting a week or the last week has been. Like a big news coming up. This is going to be the 420 episode of the High Noon Hemp Show. 420 actually is like directly in between this Wednesday and next Wednesday. So I'm going to do Hemptations Day and Earth Day next Wednesday for the High Noon Hemp Show. Today is the 420 episode of the High Noon Hemp Show. We got plenty of big news. And speaking of that, Stoner, do you know what else today is?
It's a very important day. It's on the tip of my tongue, but each week I just can't remember. Beach, what day is it?
Hemp Day. Hope that didn't mess everybody's audio up. That's right. It's Hemp Day. Big Hemp Day. Big Hemp Day. Big announcements. Remember, the FDA has not evaluated this show for safety or efficacy. That being said, let's put our peace signs to our hemp or our chest, and I pledge allegiance to the hemp fields of America and to the soil in which it is planted, one seed under the sun, with responsibility, sustainability, and thrivability for all. So, before I get to the big sale information stuff, I have to say we are going into a new location. This may be once again one of the coolest, if no, this is going to be the coolest. This is the coolest location we've ever been in. Okay, we've had many addresses all over Cincinnati and all over Dayton, but this one is the most exciting partnership, act of symbiosis. It was meant to be that this is happening because Hemptations, the largest selection of hemp goods on the planet, any retail spot, is going to be in the same building as the largest indoor hemp farm in Ohio.
Nice.
What? That's right. We're going to be in the building with the largest indoor hemp farm. Okay, I'm going to be doing the show, and we're going to have a brand new Planet Everywhere studio. So we're going to do the show from there. I'm hoping I'm going to have to get cleaned up and make sure all my equipment is been alcoholed down. But I'm hoping to do the show from one of the they're small hemp fields, but it's still all hemp. They're growing all hemp, and it's just going to be an incredible partnership. I am super excited. A little bit off the beaten path, but I do like it because once again, eventually we're going to have great parking opportunities. There's so much else going on in the building. One of the things that our customers have been telling me that I need to be selling is grow accessories. Well, they probably have the largest inventory of grow accessories um, in the city right now, honestly. So you're going to be able to come to Hemptations, get all your good hemp stuff. You're going to be able to walk right across the room. We're going to, it's like right across the room, and have not just a huge selection of grow accessories, so to speak, but the knowledge from growers.
That's right.
So uh, it's just, I just, it was so, I'm so over we were working on basically finalizing the deal, and we basically finalized the deal on my birthday last week. Happy birthday to me. And thank you. And so it's just gonna be. I mean, I just can't. I cannot wait. I'm gonna be there tomorrow. I'm like, I told him, man. As soon as I had to get through this week because I'm working and doing the show, and I'm almost tempted to drive over there this afternoon and start sweeping the floor and getting the stuff ready because we're gonna move us. This will be our last 420 to Earth Day in Northside. But come May 1st, we will have the new location up and running. And it's gonna be so amazing. I'm just so excited. This is probably one of the biggest, um, again, partnerships, symbiosis, business wise, that I've ever participated in. And we already have the largest selection of hemp. Is there another hemp store on the planet? Another hemp store on the planet that is in the same building as a very large hemp grow?
I doubt it.
I'm going to go no on that one too. um, by the time it's all said and done, we'll probably have the Hemptations Hemp Museum possibly all set up somewhere. The building is huge. We're really just and I'm not trying to take. I told him, I said, I'll take as little amount of space as you want to give me. But I also said, in true honesty, that as much space as you want to give me, I will fill and occupy with whatever is apropos to the hemp world. And so, it's just, we're so on the same page. They're on the environmentalist page. They're on the clean everything page. I just could not have imagined. I could not have imagined how this could have ended up any better than it did. And I want to tell you, I admit, and I haven't mentioned much, I've been searching for a location for months. We unfortunately just, I love Northside, and it's definitely nothing against Northside, but we're kind of being, and again, deservedly so. Whatever it is, it needed to happen. And this is the best case scenario. I mean, I just could not have asked. And I've been, once again, looking for locations. So it was meant to be, truly meant to be. He told me yesterday at lunch when they were finalizing or no, he didn't tell me. He sent me a picture. One of the partners, and I'm going, they're partners. They were finalizing the deal and at lunch, and his fortune, and I just can't make this up, was beaches and water are in your future.
Nice.
You can't make this stuff up. My life, I 100% believe everything is a coincidence, but the coincidences that have happened in my life are unbelievable to say they're coincidences. But there's actually a theory called the Ramsey's theory that says enough things happen by coincidence that it seems like they happen on purpose. But anyway, it's just, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. All right. Well, let's talk about this 420 Earth Day. Is there any other store on the planet that does a 420 Earth Day? Well, they probably do, but I can say 20 years ago when we started this, over 20 years ago, probably 25 years ago, when we started the 420 to Earth Day sale, nobody on the planet was celebrating both or offering a sale for any of their items. So, this is something that's it's always been big. Come in, we're gonna, super great deals on hemp stuff for sure. The only way to get yourself a I420 today sticker looks like the I voted stickers, but it says I420 with a leaf, a little check, which I made. The only way to get one of those on 420 is to come into Hemptations on 420.
That's right.
And again, the sale runs through Tuesday, so you might have something else to do. I think we're going to have I'm going to probably have, whether it's just me or a group of people, we're probably going to hang out in the courtyard and celebrate 420 at 420 on 420. And so come join me for that if you so desire. And again, we got everything you need. You can bring nothing and get everything you need on sale, including flour, as you will see in a minute. And how many stores? Once again, I'm like the percentage of offering you the opportunity that Temptations is giving you on 420. Okay, is once again incredible, because how many smoke shops, how many best voted smoke shops in the city, because we were best smoke shop for we've won it I don't know how many years, actually have a bunny to have you hold if you wish and get a picture with on Easter. So you come in to enjoy the 420 benefits, and that is Super Bun Bun. Everyone meets Super Bun Bun. I don't think I've shown Super Bun Bun before.
No.
Okay. But ironically, this was just perfect because once again, it just happened this week. He usually runs free in the back of the store. He's got a great space, boxes and stuff, and he's got a grand life for a hemp store bunny. Okay, Super Bun Bun does. But the other night, I think it was Sunday night. Yeah, it was Sunday night when I left. When I left there, he's in the back. He's doing his thing. I gave him his food, gave him his dinner, filled up his water, walked out the door. Next day, Monday morning, I can't find him anywhere back in the back. I've got his fresh clover picked out of the field. Like I can literally he loves this stuff. Right out of the middle of the front yard. Take it to him. He loves it. I put it down in his box. He's not coming. I'm like, where is Super Bun Bun? So I start looking around, and then I'm listening. I'm like, Super Bun Bun, where are you? He made his way. He knocked down the gate, and I did notice the gate was kind of at an angle. And I just thought, whatever, maybe I knocked it over on my way out. I didn't think he could still get out. But he jumped over the knocked over kind of gate and made his way all the way to the front of the store, to the front window. And that's where I found him and where I got to take this awesome picture. Super Bun Bun. So anyway, if you want one more experience you're not going to get anywhere else probably on the planet enjoying your 420 sales, we got a bunny for Easter.
There you go.
Super Bun Bun, Super Bun Bun. So there you have it, folks. Come enjoy. I will be there from high noon to at least 420. Well, I'll definitely be there at 420. All right. Speaking of that, let's get on with some of these 420 related hemp items that we have in the store. The first one being our hemp flower. That's right. THCA flower, 100% legal in the state of Ohio and federally. Come enjoy. It will be 20% off. Okay. Because everything in the store is for 20% off, maybe higher. there will be higher because we got 30% off. We got 42% off some of the clothing and whatnots.
There you go.
So this is our, if you go left to right, we got sativa, a hybrid, and an indica. And so come on in. We're doing at least, we'll have 3.5 gram bags. We'll have 7 gram bags. We may have bigger. We're starting to package because more of our customers want to buy more at a time because of its great price, honestly, and because it does what it's supposed to do and people enjoy it. All right, well, maybe you need a hemp seed pipe to put that THCA flower in. Dun, dun, dun. We have those too. These will be 20% off. I mean, where else in the world?
With the studio.
That person's lost. Someone's driving down my Whoa, hey. All right. Thanks, Millie. Let's take a small dog barking break. Hey, it's okay.
Mute Beach for a second. There's an invasion going on at the Planet Everywhere Studios at the undisclosed location. Apparently it's been disclosed to someone. You may have to bug out. Make sure you get to the store, though. Last couple weeks is going to be in Northside. As you see right there, scrolling along the bottom on Hamilton Avenue. And of course, we'll tell you all about the new address, etc., when the time comes. But for now, if you're Northside or you want to travel to Northside, go do so. Check out some cool products, like that pipe right there. That's pretty cool. I wonder if the seeds move. I wonder if they ask Beach when he comes back. Or they just like stationary seeds. Because it looks like, I don't know, you can't tell because this picture's not moving. They could be either stationary or they can move. I wouldn't be able to tell. So hopefully everything is cool at the Planet Everywhere Studios. If you just join us, we become beachless because I guess he said something came down the driveway. Okay, let's bring Beach back. Oh, you have to unmute yourself now, Beach.
I don't know. That's a new one, folks. Sorry about the distraction. I think everything is fine.
I was asking while you were gone, the seeds, do they move around in there or are they stationary?
Yeah. So you can shake it and it's like a lava lamp almost, like, if you shake it and you hold it upwise and they fall kind of slowly. And so, it's fun. It's trippy. And I really, to be honest with you, I really like the structure of this pipe because the from the carb to the mouthpiece, it actually goes straight.
Yeah.
And so they're super easy to clean. This is probably one of the pipes that I've had in the past that I will say super easy to clean as well. So, all right. Well, maybe you need some raw cones. I think cones are like the most popular thing out there for your pre-rolls, so to speak. Of course, we have the regular 1 1/4 and the king size in the raw cones. Stuff them, fill it, and then take that hemp. So you take your hemp, you put it in your hemp, and then you put it in some more hemp. You take your pre-roll or your roll once it's rolled. And you can put it in these hemp composite containers. We are, I believe, we are going to add the flower pre-rolls to our, and we should hopefully have some. We may even have, you may be the first to buy a Hemptations pre-roll, which is going to be fun. We're going to do. I think we're going to do all our flower in a pre-roll as well because it's a very popular. So there you have it. All those items seen here on the product spotlight will be on sale. Now the product from my door, which we usually do, four from the store, one from my door. I thought I will just show personally live. Because it is probably, again, as far as a daily use of a hemp product and it being somewhat 420 related, I will just show you, and I've shown them before, my little, we sell these, but I carry these on a regular basis. This one and this one. I'm going to confuse myself because I can't. I just don't. I'm left to right illiterate when it comes to these broadcasting things. But basically, I use both of these on a daily basis for my hemp flower, and as well as other things. I have one that has my medications in it. I have another one that I have change in. That's where I keep my change, and then I take that in and put it in the store. So I don't use it just for my flower, but being 420, again, it is mostly used, or a lot used, or always used. There's always at least one of these containers that has some in it. Be a sad day if I ran out. So there you have it from my door, my hemp composite containers that I carry on a daily basis.
And there you go.
There you have it.
Of course, that brings us to the beachwear segment, the greatest segment in internet history. If you didn't know that, well, now you do. And usually, I like to make fun of the fact that we have talked about the Guinness World Records. We've talked about the hemp records that Beach has set and currently holds. There are several that are unrecognized as of yet by the Guinness World Records because they're very busy. They're very busy people going around the world getting these incredible records, these incredibly important records that they keep track of. And normally I make fun of them. And listen, today there's plenty on there to make fun of. There's a guy who, well, I mean, it's impressive, but there's a guy who's changed his tire. There's a video. A guy who changes a tire on a moving vehicle in 3 minutes and 10 seconds. Very impressive. But what it does for anybody, I'm not quite sure. But today, I decided to change things up a little bit and go with something wholesome. Most people playing Monopoly. This charity record attempt for Little Legs Foundation in Australia honor the memory of one special little girl. So congratulations to Guinness World Records. It is something worthwhile. It's not all stupidity.
I suppose it's true. That's
a lot of people. I think it's like over 900 people playing Monopoly at the same time. That was probably quite a sight as well. In any case, we continue our efforts to chronicle Beach's many hemp records. And this is just the clothing portion. When we do the beachwear segment, I ask Beach one very important, but a very simple question. What are you wearing, Beach?
That's true. If you're curious, what are you wearing, Beach, in celebration of 420? Well, now you will know. And I think I broke these pants out for the first time last year for the 420 episode. So, making a comeback.
Nice.
Here they are. On top there, though, I've got my High Life head case hat. Living the high life. You can't live the high life and not celebrate 420. My hoodie. Now, I don't know that this hoodie has actually been on the show before either. This is a hoodie from a company called Aware from way back in the day. And so, good old-fashioned Hemptations Oh No shirt from Enviro Textiles, printed here. The Planet Everywhere Manufacturing Facilities. The pants, there they are. Those are my Island Hemp Wear pants. Island Hemp Wear made, and I believe they still have products available on their website. Board shorts, and I have a couple pairs of board shorts. I am sure you keep watching the High Noon Hemp Show at some point this summer. You will see my Island Hemp board shorts. There'll be no doubt about it. Underneath it all, got a pair of Hemptopia briefs. And because I love saying it so much, I got a pair of Kind Hemp and Wicked boots. Kind Hemp socks and Wicked boots. And I really feel like that should be like a description of me. Like someday I'm gonna put that in as my description in some serious publication. Like, I wear Kind Hemp and Wicked boots. I just love it as a description. I want all my friends to describe me as that. Oh yeah, I know Beach. He wears kind socks and Wicked boots. All right, there you have it, folks. If you're curious, what are you wearing, Beach? Now you know. Here on the High Noon Hemp Show. Well, I've only got one. I can't believe this, to be honest with you. I can only find one 420 to Earth Day commercial. Out of all the commercials that I've ever made, I can only find this one, which is quite dated. It does show the Wicked Boots, which I don't think we actually. I'm going to try to get some. I'm going to try to. I have so much inventory in storage. I'm going to try to get as much as I can actually to the store for the sale. But if not, I look so forward to the new location and having all of our inventory back out and available for everyone to look at. So here you go. Here's a little 420 Earth Day commercial. We'll be back.
Nation's 420 to Earth Day sale is upon us. Everything store-wide for 20% off and maybe higher. Enjoy the annual 420 to Earth Day 422 sale so you can enjoy you and the planet. Hemptations carries the largest selection of hemp goods on the planet because it's so good for the planet. Either way, get to either one of the Hemptations locations and get everything for 20% off between 420 and 422. Having Hemptations?
And I'm not even sure that I don't even think that had the location. That definitely didn't have the north side location. So find us the north side for 420. I'll be there. So this first thing I'm going to talk about on the news is so super cool. So Tiki Tours, when we bought our boat down on the river, when COVID broke out, kind of became our isolated area. Man, I thought I made this picture a little smaller, but I guess I didn't. The Tiki Tours were starting their operations, and they were just a couple boats down. We became friends, great people, love them. He has now upgraded to the Lady Luau, this boat, and in doing so, wrapped these poles with hemp rope. And he did the post. What do you think of the hemp rope? And of course, I was like, well, I think it's going to be on the High Noon Hemp Show. And it warms my heart. It's just so awesome. I seriously doubt that this was the cheapest route that they could have gone to wrap these with a rope. But the fact that they chose hemp, is awesome because it's very nautical true. Hemp rigging is the best rigging that you could put on a vessel if you were going to use a natural rigging. But it just kind of gives it an authentic feel. Honestly, I just love it. I cannot wait to claim one of those bar stools by the pole. I'm gonna hug it. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hug the hemp pole. So I can't wait. They probably don't know it, but on a 420 note, I may have been, or probably was, the first person to enjoy 420 on this boat, high above the second floor. Anyway, wink, wink. I haven't gotten verification on that. Totally legal. Just so everybody knows, I wasn't doing anything illegal at the time. They might not have known about it. Anyway. All right. I love it. I love it to see friends using hemp because they can. That's the world I want to live in. This is the world I want to live in. Thank you, Kevin, Tiki Tours, for noticing. And I'm not taking any credit for it. They didn't even ask me. Which I love. It was like, Beach, what do you think about me wrapping it? Because he knows what my answer would have been. I was like, wrap the whole boat in hemp. What do you mean? But I just love it. All right. So we take a look at this. This is Leah Kelly. These by design dresses she does, and this is like super high end fashion. Obviously, she hand makes these hemp dresses. These are hemp material. It's like hand sews on the beads. I cannot imagine what one of these would cost. But as far as, once again, sustainable, environmentally friendly fashion, making the runway and this is in Europe, so this the real fashion deal. I don't even know if anybody pays attention to New York when it comes to fashion anymore. I'm not much into the fashion world, but I do love it when high-end fashion designers use hemp, and they do it specifically because it's a sustainable fiber. And if that's what it takes to convince the rest of the world that we should be making clothing more, all the clothing out of hemp that we can, um, it's we need lower end, we need higher, we need all. So pretty neat. So I've been talking about NoCo, been talking about how big it is. I've got some pictures thanks to some Facebook posts. I appreciate Paul Stanford, who was he was celebrated as a lifelong hemp person, which is true. Now, this is Enviro Textiles. This is who I was talking about with the Ono t-shirts. I have a lot of their clothing. Enviro Textiles is one of the leading innovators in hemp material, hemp clothing. They supply material to a lot of other um, businesses that use that material then in their products. And so, again, I believe, if I remember correctly, Enviro Textiles was another one of those hemp companies. Like, I don't know, it might have been something about 1995. I don't know what it is, but some of the biggest names out there that are still operating, it seems to me, kind of started right around 1995 as we did. Um, I do believe that they are probably. I don't think they have a retail shop, but if they did, they would definitely challenge us probably in selection. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, our selection ranges beyond clothes. This is the she's one of the individuals who I say may be able to challenge me on hemp clothing, because I cannot imagine how much hemp clothing clothing's in her closet. Either way, um, but Enviro Textiles, it's one of the places that I recommend everyone to go first if you're looking for quality hemp clothing, if you're looking for quality hemp material. If you're just looking for quality hemp knowledge, man, they have so much knowledge. They're responsible for the study that proved that hemp material is antimicrobial and antibacterial. Every doctor's outfit, every nurse's outfit, everywhere. Just yet another reason why humans should be embracing this material, this fiber, antimicrobial, antibacterial. Just is just amazing. So again, Enviro Textiles. Check them out. Awesome, 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 awesome company. How about BoardWorks? I talk a lot about the press board that we use and in our shelves and tables and chairs. I built desks out of it. I've built stackable boxes for knickknacks, all kinds of things out of hemp board, press board. And so I'm definitely glad to see Hemp Traders was bringing it in. So again, Hemp Traders is one of the bigger ones. I'd like to see if they have it again. But we're seeing more companies. This is BoardWorks. But you can see that they have got it down to, I think, different densities and different consistencies, so to speak. Because you can do one, you could do a hemp board that was super light and kind of fluffy, so to speak. And then you can do one that's like really dense and heavy. I've seen both. And so, the range of different uses and the range of different consistent quality, that's the key, honestly, is being able to offer the customer consistent quality. What do we got next here? Oh, hemp and block. You see a lot of hempcrete stuff on the show. So here's yet another company operating in the United States. that's doing hemp and block or hemp panels, as you can see, of hempcrete, and then blocks of hempcrete. You can probably, very possibly, I don't want to assume, order a specific size. If they can do that, I don't know. They obviously have everything from, what looks like a regular brick all the way up to almost cinder block size stuff. So a lot of different utilities there. Either way, when it comes to, and again, what we're starting to see, and what I like to see in the industry, is once again that consistent product. Like this is what we offer in Hempcrete. It's not this, that, or all the other. Filling in all the gaps is going to be, there's still so much room for everybody. Don't get it wrong. How about Capstone Cannabis Clothing? These guys really look like they're doing things right, and apparently they Royal. They have something to do with Royal, and I think Royal is like one of the bigger clothing brands out there. So I don't know if they supply them or what.
So they're like a exclusive distributor.
They're a distributor of their clothing. Okay. So, more hemp clothing. That's what we're looking for. And again, the T-shirts, and I would just see all the tie dye there, and I'm sure that they have just plain as well. And curious is obviously their pricing, but we'll have to check on that. And then we've got Cold Spirit Natural. And so, yet another kind of clothing accessories company, I believe, going on here. They have bags and clothing and all kinds of good stuff, hats and whatnot. So, I haven't really looked into, what's going on in the hemp clothing world these days. We have a pretty good selection of hemp clothing, and I don't really have the resources to pick up any new products. I'd probably investigate more, but I'm definitely happy to see. And again, I called it. Again, you want to get around as much hemp, actual hemp, different hemp products. NOCO was the place to go to, and I was not wrong. Once again, and then this last one, they're called Green Fox. And I believe that they are food. And I know I always have to look closely when it comes to this stuff. But the food products, there's a high demand for them. And there's more on that from a company that I first started doing business with because of NOCO. That's later in the show. So keep watching, and you'll find out more about hemp food. And an unbelievably great hemp food company. Good housekeeping article. The surprising seed that's packed with the most protein. It was hemp, of course. I don't even know why I opened it up, but I did because I knew it was hemp. So again, that's Good House. That's an article on Good Housekeeping's website. We got a couple good news legislatively. It looks like both Mississippi and Missouri. Missouri doesn't surprise me because they keep trying in Missouri and it just keeps getting shot down. But both of the bills that were currently trying to mess with hemp in Mississippi and Missouri stalled in their House. So, I'm hoping that more states that are going through this right now, that they get there. And so, we need people in these legislative bodies to stand up and say it's not wrong. Just leave hemp alone. We've got our hemp rules. You've got our hemp regulations. I can't just. And again, you want to make it so they have to be 21 for certain hemp products. I cannot argue that. That's it's 100% better than a ban. 100%. So, well, good on Mississippi and Missouri. At least they got to a certain point where they were smart enough to say this is not the right thing to do for the constituents of our state. Okay, everywhere that they send, every state that sends hemp backwards is actually not doing the best thing for the constituents in their state. And in fact, now I just saw a post, and this is just hysterical because this once again just shows you how ignorant politicians are. Okay, now there's a bunch of politicians that are riling against the FDA about intoxicating hemp. Okay, and that it's their fault for this stuff being out there, and they did this, and they're to blame for all this. The FDA has intentionally stayed away from all cannabis. Intentionally, I think, because of this. They have no responsibility, they feel like, that they've had no responsibility to consumers to find out, legitimately even, whether CBD is safe, whether CBN is safe, whether CBG is safe, whether THC is safe. Okay? There's the FDA has avoided it. Come out and said, we're not touching this stuff. Told the politicians that were telling them to do something that they weren't going to do something, and it was up to them to do something. Now the politicians are yelling at the FDA, and the FDA has nothing to do with this. It was the 2018 Farm Bill. If you voted yes for the 2018 Farm Bill, signed by T-Rump, the man of the hour, the guy that's so cool. I mean, if you follow him by changing what's in this Farm Bill from what's in the last Farm Bill, is going against Trump's way. Better watch out. Don't do it. Just leave it alone. Telling you this right now. It's just, they're just so ignorant. Honestly, they just really, again, it just kills me. I wish I could get, a half an hour to an hour in front of them. I truly believe that it could educate on everything, all aspects. And we could really start moving hemp forward and become a world leader in hemp production, both for the sake of this nation and the sake of the world. Researchers in Brazil found that CBD taken orally has significant improvements in social skills and disruptive behaviors like aggression and tantrums in autistic children. No surprise to me.
No.
Glad to see the study. If you've watched the show in the past, I have mentioned how, and again, we've been selling CBD for, let me do some math here, probably better on 16 years, 17 years, way before it was legal to grow. It was always legal here because the CBD we sold was extracted from hemp in another country. And as long as that, the source law from the HIA versus DEA in the early 2000s said if it comes from hemp, it's hemp. So, and I'd always known about CBD in my research of hemp because in Europe they've known about how it was anti-seizure medicine or effective in fighting seizures. Which, of course, now the only FDA-approved drug is for kids who have seizures. And so I always knew about CBD. So the moment that it was, one of the companies I was dealing with had it, we started selling it. And it was quite expensive. But little by little, it did for our customers what they wanted to. And then eventually the whole industry came, and just blew up. But I want to say, probably 10 years ago, like, I don't know how far, and I hope, it hasn't, I hope somewhere it's still in my emails. But I remember 10 years or so ago, I had a parent email me and thank me for carrying CBD because it had changed their autistic child's life. They began speaking for the first time once they were on a regular dose of CBD. My best friend, one of my best friends, his child is highly autistic, used CBD. It's one of the only things that was effective as well. And so there's no surprise here to me. I think that, the fact that it's just not widely known at this point how effective this can be is a testament to the propaganda that still exists around cannabis, whether legal or not legal or whatever. Parents are still afraid to accept something like this because this comes from cannabis. They only have negative things about marijuana or whatever. They don't understand it. And so more and more legitimate studies can prove legitimately that these are medicines that are highly effective in helping people therapeutically. Here's this is kind of an updated. We talk a lot on the endocannabinoid receptor system, and the endocannabinoid receptor system gets a lot of the CB1 and CB2. I think are the main receptors that run throughout the body. But this chart here shows that there are more receptors that do different things with the cannabinoids that go into the brain. So when you're inducing cannabinoids, it basically goes into the brain, and the brain says, "Okay, where does the body need it?" And then it sends it out these receptors to that parts of the body, receptors that help with bone. I mean, almost every part of the body, as you can see, the endocannabinoid receptor system runs through from the head to your toes. Okay, this starts in the brain and comes from the brain, runs all through your system, all through your body with these receptors, and uses cannabinoids. Specifically uses cannabinoids therapeutically. Yet another reason why this natural therapeutic substance should not be illegal anywhere. And our bodies are made for it. Whether it's CBD, CBN, CBG, THC, whatever it is, if it's a cannabinoid, our brain knows what to do with it. Our brain also knows what to do with the terpenes, which may be part of the endocannabinoid receptor system, is that it may also take those terpenes. But the fact of the matter is we get terpenes from other plants, or there are terpenes in other plants as well. And so our body should know what to do with them one way or another. Do you live in Slovenia? Are you watching the High Noon Hemp Show from Slovenia? Well, if you are, you got a heck of a hemp clothing company over there called the Tree of Life. The Green Dragon. Green Dragon is the name of the company. Now, I think their website is greendragon.org. Although they sell products, I'm not sure how that works. But I really like this t-shirt. They have a full line of hemp clothing. They even have hemp sunglasses, which you've seen here on the High Noon Hemp Show before, because I have about 4 pairs. Summer's coming, so you'll see more of them soon. And so again, they're operating out of Slovenia. I didn't check to see if they ship to the United States, and I don't know how their prices translate or what that shipping would cost. But the clothing, I mean, all of it looked really neat, just plain t-shirts and pants, and then they have some of these designs as well. I think they had a 100% hemp hat, baseball hat, and some other things. So, hemp clothing worldwide. So on my birthday last week, the Austin City Council approved 6 new technical building codes. Which one was number 4? Oh, wait. Utilizing hempcrete was one of the 6 approved new technical building codes in Austin. And I quote, hempcrete, an eco-friendly plant-based building material, was approved for use in residential construction. The lightweight, low-carbon alternative to traditional concrete is non-toxic, fire-resistant, and supports the city's mission to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Well, there's one good thing hemp-wise coming out of Texas. Because other than that, if you've been following it, Texas they got a whole year of bills planned to try to mess with it. But if you're in Austin, start using it. Start using hempcrete. So I talked about that hemp food company. They're in Kentucky. We did business. We sold their products for a while, and what was interesting is they went kind of from low scale or wholesaling to a larger scale bulk. And you can go to their website. Victory Hemp Foods is what I'm talking about. So again, this is a hemp company that was brand new when we met them at NOCO. I don't even remember. I'm not even positive that they were in Kentucky at the time, but possibly went there after, or if they were, it's kind of whatever. Or maybe they were. Yeah, they were. And so, in a great place to be if you're going to manufacture hemp goods, because there's a lot of hemp getting grown, and it's inexpensive. It's not a bunch of stupid fees and fines and licenses and whatever. But they are launching North America's largest hemp heart protein and oil processing line due to the demand. So once again, I'll be talking about this for a while. You can get into and be a successful hemp business, not just from, you don't have to be a farmer. What we need here in the United States of America, more than anything, is processing and manufacturing. Okay? These guys are going to be the leaders. If not the leader, in providing hemp food to the companies that then want to manufacture with it, so to speak, make their foods with it, whether it's hemp, hemp milk or hemp chips or hemp oatmeal or hemp bread. The endless amount of foods that we can incorporate hemp or make from hemp and get that nutritional value that we desire. I had for a while, Whole Foods sold a line of basically hemp nacho chips, which are predominantly made out of corn now. And unless you are indigenous person from America, you do not digest corn at all. Okay. So, getting nutritional value out of my hemp nacho chips, because I love them, and I still eat corn nacho chips because I like corn nacho chips with some salsa and or some, a little bit of cheese maybe. Um, but I would love to go back to having hemp ones as my option. And I'm sure they exist somewhere. Some small company may be making them, but we need the big companies. This is Victory Hemp Foods move to start getting this, whether it's hemp hearts or the oil into these big food companies that it behooves them to try to figure out how to come up with as many hemp foods as they can because of the nutritional value and the resource to their customers. The ability to put, there is so much food on the shelves of your grocery store that is pure crap for the human body.
Yeah.
Pure crap for the human body. Okay? And humans buy it at the grocery store because it's on the shelves right in front of you. These crap companies fight for the shelf that's at eye level so they can make sure that you buy their crap that you're going to take home and your family's going to have no nutritional value from. But it tastes good and it's easy. The kids love it and it's terrible for them. And, just like every other hemp aspect, and I've said this forever, in 10 years, we replace everything or make everything that we can out of hemp, and you have a healthier planet. You have healthier humans. You have superior products. It's a no-brainer. So I'm so proud. Congratulations, Victory Hemp. One of those companies, once again, started small and never stopped moving forward and getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I'm so excited for them, honestly, from the food side of things, because they are, in 10 years, I'm gonna be like, yeah, I knew the founders of Victory Hemp Foods. Had many a chat with them. We used to sell a ton of their products. I love that it's going in half the hemp foods in the country, and they're going to be promoting more farmers to grow more grain in Kentucky and everywhere, because they probably are going to get so big that they're going to be growing as much as they can in Kentucky and still having to ship it in. Still have to ship it in from others. So again, congratulations, Victory Hemp Foods. Super awesome. A game changer for you, I'm sure, and a game changer for the hemp food industry in the United States. Another super cool, and they didn't really have a picture, so I couldn't give you a picture of this, but Kia, car maker Kia, is using a product called Biomice. Biomice. I don't know if that's how it's pronounced, but I think it's BIOMYC. And they're using this in their electric SUV, the EV2 cabin parts. And these materials are hemp and mycelium. I've been reporting about hemp and mycelium for years. I truly believe that this is yet another byproduct of hemp that, I don't care who you were in the hemp world, this has just come on strong in the last 5 years or so. And I have shown multiple hemp mycelium products out in the world. And so they're going to be using these, and again, like door panels uh, and whatnot. And basically, the company that's making the biomice is actually going to be able to, and this company, they're going to grow them, obviously, because that's how this works. You have a mold, and you put your hemp herd or shiv in the mold, and then you put your mycelium in the hemp, and it's probably mixed in, like it's probably just a mix of mycelium spores, fungus spores, in with that hemp, and then you put that in the mold, and then it literally grows hemp mycelium composite. Okay. Which it's just an amazing aspect of nature. The symbiosis of the mycelium and the hemp in these objects, they were meant together, and it's so natural, supernatural. But they're going to do it. They're going to grow, and they're actually going to color them to match Kia's Pantone specifications. So I don't know how they're going to do that, which almost seems like magic. Might not be, that might be the worst aspect of it all, because it's interesting to see, how they're going to get that color to grow into the object. Or is it just going to be, I honestly picture it, the whole thing like growing that color, not just something they're going to coat it with, because that's not what it sounds like they're doing. So, but maybe they grow them and then color them to match what Kia has ordered for their colors, to match their vehicles. Okay. It's kind of interesting. It kind of sucks in one way that only the electric vehicles seem to be really utilizing the benefits of hemp. Okay, I just don't understand why the big major companies here in the United States are not embracing this more, specifically Ford. Like, for the likes of me, I cannot figure out why Ford is not trying to redevelop the 1941 Ford vehicle that was made out of hemp. I just don't understand it. I mean, if that car was as strong as steel or as strong as fiberglass or whatever they're building body vehicles are out of now, why are you not developing this technology? Grow that hemp in Michigan and make your cars out of it. And this was a vision that Henry Ford had. And if they need to be educated on why Henry Ford didn't build this car, here it is. Henry Ford built this car during World War II, when the government was imploring farmers to grow hemp for the war. Okay. He also built this car because the steel was already starting to be diminished for the war effort, and he wanted to come up with an alternative to that. He did. Why did this car never go into production, you say? Why in the heck did this not great vehicle made out of hemp body taking a sledgehammer or an axe to the fender? Famous picture of Henry Ford taking an axe to the fender of his bio-based car with no issues. Okay? The war ends. The Marijuana Tax Act that made hemp illegal in 1937 goes back into effect, more or less. They basically said during the war to ignore the part of the Marijuana Tax Act that says hemp, which is cannabis, and cannabis is marijuana, marijuana is hemp. It made the whole shebang. Boom, there you go. There it is. Okay? Made the whole shebang illegal. And Henry Ford said, well, I'm not going to import my hemp from China or Russia, or definitely wouldn't have probably been Russia. Who knows at the time? I'm not going to import it. So we're not going to have the fiber material to build the body of the car with. We're not going to have the seed oil to run the car with, because it ran on hemp fuel as well. Because if Henry Ford couldn't figure out how to get the products to make these things in the United States, he wasn't going to do it. So this great car that could have saved, and again, I have nothing against the steel industry, I suppose, for the most part. Okay. But this great car, if gone into production, I believe, in an alternative world where this car got built, every other car on the road today would have been built out of similar material. If he proved it was as strong as steel, and that's what we know now, we know this. The cars being built out of hemp today, although very few and far between, that hemp was proven to be as strong as steel. So, again, I just, in this day of sustainability, whether you like it or not, okay, whether you like it or not, whether you believe in climate change, which is an absurd statement, okay, because it's not about believing in climate change. It's responding to the fact that we know that our climate is changing in ways that are not beneficial to us as humans. And the only way to respond to that is either saying, you're stupid and I'm going to go on destroying the planet, or saying, you're smart and I'm going to do everything I can to change the path of the destruction that we humans started and continue to deal with. And that being said, and this is something I've always known. Okay, so I've always known that they're saying now, like I'm going to say I learned about 20 years ago that they had about 80 years of oil left to drill for. So now we're about 60 years estimated to running out of oil, draining the earth of all the oil. Okay, and again, just to put things in perspective, planet 4.2 billion years old, drilling for oil 200 years old. And by the end of this century, there will be no more oil to drill for. Okay? I'm not saying don't use it up, whatever. If you feel like you need to use it up, I'm sure that's going to continue. We only probably have, I think, 50 years from what I read not too long ago of sand for concrete. Okay? Yet another thing that hemp can produce. Now I'm hearing, okay, and this is world studies, so to speak, is that we only have 60 years left on soil. 60 years left on soil. Again, I don't want to seem like an alarmist, but that concerns me, honestly, a lot more than running out of oil or running out of sand for concrete. If we do not have soil capable of growing the foods that we need, we are done. That's it. We can run out of oil and survive just fine. We can run out of sand and survive just fine. But if we have a limited amount of clean soil left, we're doomed. That's true doomness. Okay? That's true. You cannot get any more doomier than that. You run out of food, And so, once again, what can hemp do? Hemp can make food, but it can also clean the soil. It's a phytoremediator. So you plant it, and it sucks all the bad stuff up, or most of the bad stuff, a lot of the bad stuff, not all the bad stuff, but a good amount of it. Okay? And I think that, we start rotating hemp with every single crop in the world, except for maybe rice. I don't think you can really rotate anything with rice. Only rice grows in rice paddies, as far as I know. We can figure out how to grow hemp in there. But they have their own hemp. They have plenty of hemp in China, so I'm not too worried about that, honestly. But they also grow an immense amount of cotton, which is alternatively destroying the soil as fast as any other agricultural crop can. So they can grow all the hemp they want. Now, it'd be interesting if they're rotating hemp with cotton, but they're not, because they grow cotton on the same soil and they throw all the chemicals on there because there's nothing left in that soil right now to benefit that cotton. So they have to give it everything it needs, and it's ridiculous. We can just totally get rid of that and grow 3 times the amount of hemp on an acre that grew cotton. It's just amazing what we should do, what we can do, and what we're taking so slow to do. And it's all because of the propaganda, the 80 years of propaganda against cannabis, period. And although, once again, we've legalized hemp and our farmers can grow hemp, they still demonize it. You got to have a special license to grow it. You got to have it tested at the end of the year. You got to do this. You got to do that. Okay? It's not the way to make the greatest agricultural commodity on the planet, resource-wise, grow in the hands of the farmers. It's just not going to happen. And again, this farm bill is going to send that backwards. It's going to send it backwards. Because even less farmers are going to want to get involved because there's even more things that they have to worry about. And they don't. They just want to grow the crop, sell the crop, and be done with it. Why can't it be that simple, America? So, I'm going to leave you with this, this is not the last thing I'm going to leave you with. But speaking of the hemp mycelium thing, and I've shown caskets. I just recently shown a casket, and I've shown buoys and fire and soundproof panels made out of this coming to America, because I'm pretty sure the last hemp mycelium casket that I showed was in Europe, but apparently they're coming to America. And again, they cannot be distributed or sold or whatnot to a better company than the Lancaster Trading Company in Pennsylvania. Again, been in business. He may be another one of those 1995ers. I'm going to have to ask him when he started, but I would guess that it was very close to when we started. Hemp food, hemp pretzels. Okay, these were the hempsels. And I need to get back into the shop if he has them, but the hemp pretzels, they were super popular. Same company. Hemp drinks. I know that they bought a bunch of inventory, flaking on the name of the company, but the hemp high flyers and kids' clothes and all that stuff, he's got them. He's got it. Again, he goes true hemp pioneer, hemp warrior, hemp educator. Short list of what I'd call old schoolers, or O's, like OH, old hempers. So this is pretty neat. It's pretty neat coming to the States, available in the States. Again, Lancaster Trading Company is who's doing this. Their information is down there. If you can see it, or you want to do a screenshot, there it is down there in the bottom left corner. Has fought and deserves to be selling as many hemp products to the world as they can. All right, I will leave you with this news. I found out that hemp insulation, and this was a study, and I'm sure they're going to find this out with the other study I was just talking about that's going on at some university. So hemp insulation has a carbon emission of, it says negative 0.198 kilograms of CO2. So to me, that sounds like it actually continues to absorb slightly carbon. Or if that is the loss, that's 0.2%, which I would only guess is also very, very little when it comes to that. And so now we know that carbon emission from hempcrete insulation is definitely a negative number because it absorbs hemp or carbon as it's growing, and then my understanding is that even as a hempcrete wall or a hempcrete as its material continues to sequester carbon. Okay, so once again, why would we not build everything we could out of hempcrete? It's a no-brainer. And, we're getting there slowly but surely. And we will get there, I think. I mean, even if we could replace 50% of the concrete being used worldwide with hempcrete, it would be an unbelievable benefit to humans and the planet, both. All right. I have talked quite a bit about hemptecture. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how it's pronounced. But they're doing 22% off. I think I got some information up there. Again, you can go to their website, but they're doing 22% off for Earth Day, and that sale is running now until April 25th. And so maybe I didn't send those over. I might have forgot to include that. But again, it's hemptecture. It's like architecture, but spelled with hemp. You can find them online. Hemp insulation. I've been talking about their hemp insulation. They have quite a bit of construction materials, but you can enjoy 22% off until the end of next week on those. April 19th, this Saturday, you got the Hemp Fair at the Cannabis Museum in Athens, Ohio. Enjoy that, if you will. All kinds of cool stuff. I think I saw yet another post. I think there's gonna be someone there that makes hemp paper. So that's pretty neat too. So anyway, that's over in Athens at the Hemp Museum. Which again, why would you not want to go to a 420 event at a cannabis museum? Seems ridiculous. I mean, if I didn't have to work the next day, I might have gone over. If I actually hadn't seen everything in the cannabis museum when it was in his family room, I might be a little bit more encouraged to go over too. But I literally, I did that. So anyway, May 16th to the 19th, you've got the Hempcrete. It's a 4-day workshop over in Meherrin, Virginia. And so if you're anywhere in the Virginia area and you want to do this is a 4-day, once again, 4-day Hempcrete all day, 9 a.m. I think it's all to 4 p.m. every day. Meherrin, Virginia, May 16th through the 19th. June 10th and 11th, you got the 10th annual Native American Cannabis and Hemp Conference at the Pachinga Resort in Temecula, California. I'm probably not pronouncing that correctly. June 11th to the 13th, you have the European Industrial Hemp Association. Here's that information in Berlin, Germany. Berlin, Germany. I forgot to mention earlier how the whole world is celebrating 420, except for probably Germany, because if you don't know, that's Hitler's birthday. So that might be the only place where it's just absolutely forbid to celebrate anything on that day. But let's get rid of all the notion of that bastard anywhere and celebrate cannabis. So anyway, but here's the European Industrial Hemp Association. July 25th through the 27th, you have the Stargazers Cannabis Festival. They're going to be doing an interactive hempcrete workshop. Most more than likely, I will be doing a paper making workshop. I don't know if it'll be interactive yet or not. It may just be me doing it and showing people how it's done. I haven't gotten that far yet. I'm still trying to organize it all. And at some point or another, I do believe that I will be speaking. So again, that's the Stargazers Cannabis Festival, July 25th through the 27th. And so check that out, Waverly, Ohio. And then October 3rd through the 5th, you got the Hemp Building Symposium being done by the Lower Sioux Indian community out in Minnesota, from here it's up and over to Minnesota. And again, they have finished their facility, their workshop facility. They have built at least one hemp house that I know of. And so they are well experienced. And this is where I think you can really gain the knowledge of seed to wall hempcrete, seed to wall hemp construction, growing the hemp, processing the hemp, making the hempcrete, building the house. It's all right there. As well it should be. Yet another reason why hempcrete can be another sustainable alternatives to concrete is because the materials don't have to travel so far. I mean, at the very least right now, because the only sand that still can be used for concrete is either getting mined or dredged, and that's not here in the United States. So, here's where those tariffs really matter, and the fact that it has to travel so far. We put on a ship that pollutes the world, and I mean, the goal. And this is once again, yet another attainable goal that hemp can provide, is that everywhere in the world you can grow the hemp to make your food. You can grow the hemp to make your material. You can grow the hemp to build your hempcrete house out of. And then not have to ship it all over. You just need places, again, those processing, those manufacturing places to exist all over. I'd rather have more smaller processing and manufacturing all over so the products don't have to travel than one or two where, even if your hemp grain is grown out in wherever, I'll pick Minnesota, it has to be shipped to a state that has a processing to process it. And then it has to be shipped to the manufacturer to be manufactured and then shipped back to Minnesota in its form. Where, once again, you just grow all of that in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing, if we had, actually, I mean, you could probably build 12 facilities, 12 to 15 facilities, so that 4 states or so could share those facilities. That'd be the perfect, in my mind. I feel like that's the greatest, you build it at the 4 corners of the state, so it can travel the least amount. You bring the hemp in, process it, manufacture it, take it back out. Doesn't have to go far at all. I mean, there is no other agricultural commodity that can do this. Not one. Not one. All right. Well, there you have it, folks. I didn't see any questions. I ranted quite a bit, as I normally do. And so I just want to say I hope everybody has a great 420. We'll be back here next week on the High Noon Hemp Show for the. It's actually going to be a triple celebration. So we're gonna celebrate Hemptations Day, which is 421. If you don't know, self-proclaimed Hemptations Day, 421. Earth Day, 422, and Arbor Day this year is actually 425. Okay, Arbor Day is the original Earth Day in a sense, and Arbor Day is, it seems like it just depends on what's going on in the United States as to whether people like make a big deal out of Arbor Day or it just comes and goes and no one has any idea. But it's all about planting trees. The Arbor Day Foundation will send you trees or give you trees to plant. That's always been the goal of Arbor Day. The very first Arbor Day, for the record, happened in the late 1800s on my birthday. So the very first Arbor Day was April 10th. And it's gone from April dates to like fall dates. I don't know in the grand scheme of thing who officially says when Arbor Day is. But in the past, there has been no rhyme or reason. April to me makes more sense. If you're planting trees, spring's the time to plant a tree. Fall is not the best time to plant a tree. You got winter coming. So I really feel like spring, it makes more sense at Arbor Day. And I think they actually kind of figured that out in the long run, and that's why they kind of brought Arbor Day back to April, because it makes more sense. It does make more sense to have it towards the end of April in a lot of places, because you still have frost coming and whatnot. I would love to see a national plant a hemp tree movement. But unfortunately, I can't do that. I can't plant a hemp tree in my front yard.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy a $1,000 licensing fee. I gotta have that hemp tree tested at the end of the season. Even if it's just going to be an ornamental plant out front, an ornamental bush out front. In the state of Ohio, the only way to legally do that would be to buy a $1,000 licensing fee, and then again have it at the very least tested at the end of the grow season to make sure that it didn't have that 0.3 or 0.4% or more THC. Okay. So we are far away. We are far away from a plant a hemp tree Arbor Day ideology.
Yeah.
One way or another. All right, folks. Thanks everybody for being here. High Noon Hemp Show. Check us out if you're watching now. That's great. If you're watching later, we love you. Tell your friends to subscribe to the Jedi Hemp channel. And remember, reduce, reuse, recycle. Make everything else out of hemp. Having Hemptations.
See y'all next week.